anyone at all from Shirley Temple to Amy Semple is equally understood. Go out and try your luck, you may be Donald Duck. Hooray for Hollywood.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is I, the mandated reporter, and frankly, I'm mortified, Mr. Mark Radulich, and this is Damn You, Hollywood. Now, you are... Oh, let's just cut right to the chase. You know Robert Winfrey's not here. Robert Winfrey wouldn't be here even if there wasn't a giant fucking pandemic vandalizing my schedule, my podcast, my life, my children's schools, your sink at home, your dishwasher. Wait, no, that's I'm now going into a bit from the Kentucky Fried Movie. Joining me tonight to keep me relatively sane, Jesse Starcher. How do you do, sir?
Mark Radulich. My goodness, I was worried about my appliances there for a second.
Do you know the bit?
I have still yet to see Kentucky Fried Movie.
Oh, so you don't know the bit that I'm referring to?
No clue. Surprise, surprise. I don't have any idea what you're talking about.
There's a bit, they do like a PSA about I think it's zinc oxide or whatever. Like zinc oxide is everywhere in your home. And without zinc oxide, you wouldn't have, and then shit just starts disappearing. But as things are disappearing, the house is like catching fire and blowing holes and everything. It's like you
kind of need that then.
Your wife's brassiere.
Yeah.
The safety on your oven.
Nice. Very nice.
Your husband's pacemaker. It just fucking falls over.
It's starting to sound much like the schedule on the Radulich In Broadcasting Network as Mark stands around and cries that it is fine. Oh boy.
Yeah,
fine.
I am standing in a house that's on fire and burning to the ground saying it's fine. It's all very fine.
Very fine indeed. Yeah, so tell me about Robert Winfrey. Why wasn't he here? I don't understand. What was his deal?
We're reviewing Bloodshot tonight, the last movie you'll be able to see in theaters, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. Everything else got pulled.
What a way to go.
Hollywood goes, hooray for Hollywood. It went out with a bang, or a blood shot.
A blood shot.
Yeah, pretty much after this past weekend, everything else got pulled. This isn't going to be a standard show. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm shooting from the hip. I'm shooting, Jesse.
Shooting from the hip.
Oh, I'm about to do Steiner math.
He's shooting, pal.
So, Trolls World Tour got pulled. That's going to go video on demand April 10th. Mulan got pulled. We don't know when that's going to come out, or if it's going to come out theatrically, or if it's just going to go straight to Disney Plus. We don't know. Right now, it's in the mystery pool. Black Widow got pulled today. Spiral, which is the next Saw movie with Chris Rock, that got pulled.
You legit thought that, I think it was you that said Black Widow would be showing on empty screens. 2 days later.
Yeah.
Well, actually, one day. I think one day. We just talked about that last night.
Oh, I was led to believe that the world would start to come back to life by May, but they're like, fuck it. Nobody knows.
Yeah.
So, Black Widow's gone, Mulan's gone. Those are both Disney. The Hunt and The Gentleman and a couple of other movies that have already been released are all going video on demand this month. Excuse me. Which is significantly shorter than the usual 74-day turnaround to go from theater to on demand. James Bond got moved to November.
Yep.
Fast 9 got moved to 2021 when Fast 10 was supposed to come out.
Wow.
Peter Rabbit got moved to August. Peter Rabbit 2. And that's... there's a bunch of little films also that got pulled. So there's nothing coming out till June at this point.
Yeah, they're shutting theaters down.
Yeah. AMC, Cinemark, Cinemark, Landmark... Regal. I don't know why I'm saying Landmark. Cinemark, Regal, and AMC, which is basically all of them, shut down theaters for the foreseeable future. It's a Bloodshot, baby.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness.
We started with Birth of a Nation. We ended with Bloodshot.
That's great. That's exactly where we need to be. I mean, honestly, who doesn't want to go out on a comic-based action flick?
Sure.
Yeah. Yep. I don't see any hands. Please raise them. This is supposed to have been, according to Vin Diesel, the movie that launched the Valiant Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, we'll be lucky to see like fucking movies in the future.
Yeah, yeah. It's a really unfortunate set of circumstances that it really. I doubt a whole lot of people would have went to go see this movie in the first place, but we'll never know for sure. Anybody can say anything. So, but I read the Valiant comics. I knew who Bloodshot was. I wasn't a big reader back in the 90s, but I knew Valiant comics and I knew about the character. To see this character get its shot on the big screen that's actually, it's one of those things where you're like, you never would have thought to have seen that. You got your Avengers, you got your Marvel movies and all that, but this is like a deep dive into comic books, in my opinion. It's, I think, definitely the character and the story surrounding Bloodshot in the comics lends itself to being a movie, but I would have never thought that this is something that they would have tapped for a property. But as Marvel Cinematic Universe fever took hold, a lot of people started saying, hey, comic books, check them out.
Yep.
Let's see if we can put them on the screen, and here we are.
Lizard Brain totally took over.
I would agree.
Lizard Brain was all about, like, what? Marvel movies are fucking making bank? Well, what else you got out there? Like, Valiant, IDW, Image. Sign them all
Archie.
up, man.
Yeah.
Lock them down. Make everything. Make all the comic books. And so, here we are. I swallowed a whole potato watching the Dropkick Murphys concert.
Well, I think that's spectacular.
I mean, it wasn't like a russet potato or anything. Like
how Irish of you.
It was a little like cherry size potato.
This one's for the potato famine, and then gulp.
No, I'm just a fucking pig.
Oh, okay, got it.
I didn't chew all the way, and
one whole baked potato.
Like I said, no. No, it wasn't that. So, that was an hour or so ago, and I'm trying to get past it here, and we all know my diminished lung capacity. I'm going to get through this, though. I don't think I'm going to podcast anymore. I think this is it.
The movie business ends on Bloodshot, and so does the Radulich In Broadcasting Network.
The whole fucking thing is going down.
Thanks, Vin Diesel.
Coronavirus canceled the Radulich In Broadcasting Network.
Oh, man.
Right, maybe not. Maybe I'm being a little hyperbolic.
A little dramatic, a little over dramatic.
All right. So, why isn't Robert here? Real quick. Robert's not here because he didn't want to see the movie, and he doesn't want to see anything, but he especially didn't want to see this. He really fucking whined and complained about it. And that's not why he's not here. That's not why he's not here. He's not here because he threatened to be grumpy on the show. And then he demonstrated grumpiness to Jeff on his MMA podcast. And I was like, well, if you're going to be a dick, then don't be on the show. Jesus, don't do me any favors.
So he doesn't straight up hate Vin Diesel for some reason. I thought maybe that was it. I was like, oh, he has something against Vin Diesel, and he's like, no, not going to do it.
That might be. Who the fuck knows? But he decided he decided this is the line in the sand he was drawing for some odd reason.
Okay.
And then he was like, I'm going to come on the show and not be up. Not, I mean, I know he's never really up, but he's Robert. And we love Robert. But if you've listened to Damn You Hollywood long enough, he has a way about him. And he wasn't even going to give me that much. And I was like, well, then don't do it. I don't want to sit here for an hour and like, wrestle with you the whole time. Like, fuck it. Like, let's just not... either be up or be antagonistic, but don't just be blah. That's a shitty podcast.
If you hate the movie, you've got to jump into that hate. You can't just don't hate the podcast, hate the movie.
So I was like, all right, take the fucking night off, whatever. And then movies went out of fucking theaters, and that will be the end of Robert and Damn You Hollywood. So good for you, Rob. Nice work. Your last show is Onward. Your severance check will be in the mail. And then I put it out there to Alexis, because Alexis is always like, hey, can I get on with some more shows? I'm like, yeah, man, I got a spot for you. Come talk about Bloodshot with me. Take your husband, go to the movies, come back, and let's talk about it. And she was like, oh, Robert, I'm really jumping on a grenade for you. The fuck you are. I take your happy ass back to Kansas or whatever the fuck you're from. And I'll see you on the next animated movie.
Oh, boy. Well, so you tapped the well and you said, Jesse, can you do me a favor? Do me a solid.
And Jesse said, no, I got to work.
Watch Bloodshot. Watch Bloodshot. Watch Bloodshot. And I said, okay, I'll give it. I will give it a shot.
Did you watch it in your pirate hat?
No comment. Let's just say I watched Bloodshot thanks to some friends, and here I am. So I honestly, like I said, I'm excited to look at this valiant property on the big screen and talk about it. So let's do it. How are you going to synopsis this movie?
After leading a successful rescue operation in Mombasa, U.S. soldier Ray Garrison and his wife Gina travel for a holiday at an Italian beachside town. However, they are kidnapped by a group of mercenaries led by Martin Axe, who demands to know the source of the Mombasa hostage operation. Since Ray is not privy to this information, Axe kills him and Gina, like you do. Ray is later resurrected by Rising Spirit Tech, a company that specializes in developing cybernetic enhancements for disabled U.S. military personnel. The company's CEO, Dr. Emil Harding, tells Ray that he is the first successful candidate that they have resurrected using a special nanite technology.
Nanites.
Nanites. Ray is also introduced to Dr. Harding's other patients, including former U.S. diver KT. Get it? Katie? KT.
Yeah.
Whom he strikes a romantic friendship with, and former soldiers Jimmy Dalton and Marcus Tibbs, whom he gets on poorly with. Oh, does he ever?
Hold on a second. Romantic friendship? Were they...
Sure.
I don't remember that.
They touched hands at what point?
There we go. Okay. All right. Well, that would make anybody moist.
Absolutely. Pants are tight and moist.
Yes, sir.
After experiencing flashbacks of Gina and Axe, Ray escapes Rising Spirit's laboratory to Kuala Lumpur and pursues Axe, seeking to avenge Gina's death. Using the nanites to slice into computer databases, Ray tracks down Axe to Budapest. This is just like Budapest. You and I remember Budapest differently. After trapping his convoy in a tunnel, Ray kills Axe's bodyguards before executing the mercenary. He is later recovered by KT, Dalton, and Tibbs, who bring him back to Rising Spirit for reprogramming. In truth, Harding created false memories!
Oh, yeah!
Of Gina's death as a part of a plot to eliminate rivals in Rising Spirit. After his memories are wiped and reprogrammed, memories are...
Yes, they are.
Ray is sent to kill Nick Barris in East Sussex, remembering him, quote-unquote, to be Gina's killer. Though Ray manages to kill Barris and his bodyguards, Barris has forced computer programmer Wilfred Wiggins.
Like that guy.
Of New Girl fame, to build an EMP bomb, which is ignited after Barris's death, incapacitating Ray and severing communications with Rising Spirit. After resurrecting Ray, Wiggins reveals the Spirit planted false memories to turn him into a killing machine. Ray also discovers Gina is alive, but had left him 5 years ago and started a family in Westminster. Growing disillusioned with Harding's exploitation of Ray, Katie seeks Wiggins' help in taking him down. Meanwhile, Ray is recaptured by Dalton and Tibbs following a pursuit. He is brought back to Rising Spirit's laboratory for reprogramming, but escapes with the help of KT and Wiggins of New Girl fame, who sabotage the reprogramming process and Rising Spirit's computers. Breaking free, Ray fights Dalton and Tibbs on top of an elevator.
Oh, yeah.
Dalton willingly lets Tibbs fall to his death before continuing the fight until Ray punches him down the elevator shaft, killing him. Because of course he does. Ray confronts Harding, who manages to drain the nanites, but is killed when the second grenade he shoots at Ray is dismantled by the nanites and dropped directly at his feet. Ray is later rebuilt by Wiggins and KT, and the three then leave in search of a new life.
Ah, yes. Off into the sunset, if I remember correctly.
Along with Paul Walker and the rest of the Fast and Furious crowd.
Wait a second. Wrong movie.
Oh, damn it. This movie really is all about family.
Wow, that was the thing I picked up on.
All right. So, this movie. If you're looking for like B-movie action schlock, you know, just kind of a guy running around beating the shit out of people, and you're not looking for like a John Wick grit. You're more looking for a science fiction superhero aesthetic. This is fine. Mm-hmm. It's stupid. It's barely acted well. Barely.
Yeah, man. Ugh.
A lot of the action scenes are not well rendered or are cut so much they are barely readable. The stuff you see in the trailer in wide shot, you know, like when he punches the one dude down the elevator shaft, is probably the best looking of the bunch. The rest of it is a lot, like I said, that sequence where he kills the first guy in the tunnel.
Oh, yeah.
Is so quickly shot and so poorly lit, you have no clue what's going on half the time.
Nope. I was having issues. I mean, some of the stuff that looked cool, obviously the things that came from the trailer when he gets like shot by the shotgun, on the side of his face, that's in the trailer. They took the best moments of this movie, which I guess that's what you're supposed to do with a trailer, but they took the best moments of this and threw it into what everybody already knew was going to happen when they got into the theater. And that, unfortunately, when you spoil the best parts of your movie, which really, just like you said, it's probably the effects. I mean, there's a story here, but it's very, my goodness, the plot itself is kind of basic. Granted, I was involved, and knowing what we read with the source material podcast and everything that happened in that first 4 issues of the 2012 series, I was expecting the turn. So I was kind of spoiled on that, but it led me down a road where I was thinking, maybe that's not going to happen. Maybe that's supposed to happen in the next movie or something. Maybe we're actually just kind of learning his straight up origin here. But then, we have the big twist. But yeah, man, that tunnel sequence, as cool as it seemed, it was pretty hard to follow just because it was completely in dark light. The only thing that you have is the headlights from cars and flares going off. And you got some brutal, fight scenes during that. The dude getting I can't even describe it right, where Bloodshot grabbed both of his arms from behind his back and then, basically wishboned him somehow. I can't even describe it right. It just was gruesome. And there was some brutal stuff going on in there, but I would have liked to be able to have seen everything that was going on. So, yeah, I mean, you want to talk about the acting here? Vin Diesel.
I mean, there's a reason why Vin Diesel plays a fucking tree that says, I am Groot.
I almost went there. I almost did. I mean,
And he looks like the kind of guy that would make most people's pants moist and wet when he's driving a car. Because that doesn't involve dialogue.
Yes, exactly. He can look intense, but the most emotion that you kind of see out of this guy, he's a killing machine, and that is almost actually a literal description of what Bloodshot is. But when he is watching his false wife, get killed in front of him, that's about the most emotion that I think I've ever seen on the guy's face in my entire life.
I think he emotes okay. He
Okay.
just doesn't do dialogue. Dialogue readings, he sounds like fucking Grodd from the Flash show.
Okay. From the CW?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Well, I guess the emotion that I'm talking about ties in with the dialogue as well. I mean, he gets a little screamy there when his wife gets killed, but the rest of it, he just delivers it like...
you don't kill my wife, I'm gonna kill you all. You know nothing of men like me, Flash.
You know nothing of men like me.
I am Groot.
Well, what do you think? Okay, so unless you got a whole lot to say about Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel does his best work when he's doing a lot of action. Like, I was thinking about the Pitch Black movies.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking of too. When I think of Vin Diesel, the action star, that's the first thing that I'm reminded of.
Right, because he has a great look, even though he looks kind of like a shaven ape. It's fine. He has a great look. He looks very intense. He has that smoldering intensity that they talk about with The Rock. He looks good on a poster, and if you keep his dialogue really short and snappy, he's okay. Like, if you watch, like, the Fast and the Furious movies, which is his most successful franchise he's ever been in, it's a lot of him just driving cars or doing action. He is definitely propped up by the people around him. Mm-hmm. I think the last one, I can't remember the actress, Charlize Theron, basically, like, acts circles around him. And she's not even given a great performance. She decided to whisper all her lines. I don't know why. I don't know if you've seen the last Fast and the Furious movie. But I remember Robert and I talking about that. We were like, why did Charlize Theron decide she was going to whisper all of her dialogue? But she's such a phenomenal actress. She can get away with it. And then he just has to kind of react to her going, Vin.
Yeah.
And he just goes, brilliant.
Maybe she didn't want to outshine him, or maybe there was some production notes like, hey, you know what? You might want to tone it down because Vin Diesel, he doesn't get too loud either.
What do you think she was going to be fucking like Angelina Jolie in the fucking Maleficent movies? Just where's my invitation?
That'd been great.
Anyway, I mean, everybody else in the movie, the guy who plays Wiggins, he's funny.
Oh yeah, he's probably one of the brighter spots when it comes to obviously humor involved in the movie. I liked his character.
Yeah, Guy Pearce is fine as the kind of villain who, he's looking at the goal, and it's a means to an end, and he's not like malevolent so much as he is driven. He's that kind of villain. Mm-hmm. Guy Pearce is a perfectly good actor. The chick who plays KT is not great. Iaza Gonzalez.
Okay.
Let's see what else she's been in.
I was going to say, I didn't recognize her in the film.
Well, she was in Gem and the Holograms.
All right. I know you've seen that, right?
I sure have.
Yeah, I have not.
All right, so she was in Almost 30 in 2014. She was in Gem and the Holograms in 2015. She was in Baby Driver in 2017. She was in Welcome to Marwen in 2018. In 2019, She was in Paradise Hills, Alita Battle Angel. She's missing in Hobbs and Shaw.
She was in Hobbs and Shaw?
Yeah, as Madame Margarita.
Oh, okay.
And then she's in the following movies that are never going to come out. Cutthroat City, Godzilla vs. Kong, Love Spreads, and I Care a Lot. On TV, the only thing that you would have maybe seen her in was from the series From Dusk Till Dawn.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, she did not strike any memory for me. I didn't recognize her at all. I mean, you say she needed some more work, and again, she played the basic, like...
She's the hot chick.
Yeah, she's not a love interest. I mean, this could have been... Her character could have been played by anybody, in my opinion. I didn't pick up on any type of romance. Maybe I missed it, but...
No,
They hung out a little bit, but that's about it.
I mean, I think she felt sorry for him, and she starts to... Here's the problem, and this is why the movie's not written very well. So I mean, like it's B-movie action schlock. Because there is a plot line there a subplot, where she becomes disillusioned with the mission, and she starts to feel bad for him.
Yeah.
But nothing sets that up. It happens because that's the point in the movie it needs to happen in order to get to the next scene.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's the only reason it happens. That's shit writing. She has like no chemistry with Vin Diesel, and she's supposed to be like the quasi love interest, but they were not exactly setting the screen on fire.
No, and I guess maybe at the end you could think that there may be a relationship that's going to evolve because it's just obviously
Did you want
Bloodshot.
to see them fuck? Because I didn't.
No,
care.
I didn't. Okay. There wasn't, like I said, it could have been it could have been a dude in her character, and I would have, I would have got the same.
Because that's the thing. Like you watch the first couple of Fast and the Furious movies. Who doesn't want to see Vin Diesel fuck Paul Walker? Those two are magic on screen.
I never got that impression either. But
you're going to sit here and bold-faced lie to me and tell me that Vin Diesel and Paul Walker didn't have magic sexual chemistry on screen.
I guarantee you there is some, slash fiction out there that involves the two, but I can say safely that I was not envisioning that in any way.
Your homosexual
I'm
side
wrong.
is
I'm
very repressed.
Thanks, Mark.
It's way deep down in your Appalachia.
All right, then. All right.
Along with the uranium.
Well, okay. that I can believe.
Look, sexual chemistry is sexual chemistry.
Sure.
It's either there or it isn't. Okay?
I didn't see it. Not between those two.
Right. But definitely between Paul Walker and Vin Diesel.
Yeah, well, for the sake of this conversation, sure.
Let's move on. So, anything else about this? Because I don't want to beat this to death. It's like on the plus side, the action's kind of fun, but a little hard to follow at times. It moves along at a brisk pace. I mean, it's an hour and 9 minutes. I didn't feel like it was slow.
How long is it? An hour and what?
Sorry, it's 109 minutes.
Okay. I was like, wait a second. Yeah, it definitely... Was there any spot where you just felt like it was dragging?
I know I nodded off at one point.
Oh,
and that's
okay.
not the movie's fault, though.
Okay, all right then.
I was licking the theater chairs trying to give everyone coronavirus, and I just passed out.
All right. I was so exhausted from licking theater chairs. I fell asleep accidentally.
Or it was after work and I was tired.
Okay. Well, it isn't completely like action-packed, balls to the wall all the time. You're with what is his character, Ray? I think it is. Okay, so you're with Ray, and he's trying to figure out, very much like we were talking about on the Source Material podcast, where he's the unreliable narrator, and you're watching all this happen in front of him, and you're pulling for Ray to go get revenge on the guy that killed his wife. And then they hit the reset button, which makes it all the more interesting. But I didn't find myself feeling like it was dragging, other than the few times that I had to deal with buffering issues. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. I should never have said that. But you mentioned B movie action, and that's unfortunately that's what this feels like to me. B stands for basic, because this is just your basic action flick. It's nothing that's is not even on the level of a Marvel movie, in my opinion.
No, this is like an X versus Seven or whatever it was called.
Dan Severn. X versus Dan Severn.
X versus Dan Severn. You remember Ballistic X versus Sever?
Yes. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, it's like on that level.
Yeah, I can see that. I think this is well, I don't know. I'm probably giving it more credit than it's due, just because I want to see a comic book movie succeed. And again, I got the feeling that
good.
I'm biased.
Well, no, I'm just I want to see it succeed. No one's going to the theaters anymore. They're closed. This thing is dead. Deader than a fucking doorknob.
The other thing that I was thinking of is that this was kind of the movie. This very much felt like a beginning of. I don't want to say it set up a whole lot for the potential Valiant cinematic universe, because that I don't think happened.
No.
But if you're going to start somewhere, you test the waters with something that feels safe.
Yeah.
And that is probably where I'm going with this. I think this is a very safe action movie, but you're not going to be on the edge of your seat. You're just going to be there to watch this guy get revenge and, get shot a billion times, get his face blown off, and then regenerate. So
that's the thing. I think they really didn't do enough with his vulnerabilities. They made him seem like Superman, and then it's only at the end really where his nanites are all dead. But then he miraculously comes back to life, and he becomes Silver for the first time in the movie, and it's a big slow motion crazy effect.
Oh yes, the slow-mo.
It's like the only thing not in the trailer.
Yeah.
And then he kills Guy Pearce with a grenade, and then it's over.
Yep. It's safe. It's like, here's your story, and that's it.
Yep. All right, so let's talk about the...
No. What? I know this next segment.
Let's talk about the money. Yeah.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, 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 money.
Dollar, dollar.
I'd like to go ahead and say that I was not really licking chairs in the theater. That's a joke. I'm making light of a very serious situation. Send your hate mail to @MarkRadulich on Twitter.
There you go.
On a budget.
There you go.
On a budget of $24 million, just $25 million, we'll say. This thing has made $45 million in a world where we no longer can go to the movies.
Wow, I'm surprised. That actually did way more than I thought it would.
Well, what else were you going to go see? Everything else got pulled.
True. And this was probably, the only action flick. Was there anything else out that screamed action like this did?
Well, yeah. There was The Hunt. I saw The Hunt and this in the same weekend.
What was The Hunt about?
That's the one with the liberals are shooting deplorables.
Oh, that's right. You've told me about this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So here's what debuted this weekend. Bloodshot, I Still Believe, The Hunt, and Riverdance.
Oh, that's violent. Ultra violent.
25th anniversary show.
Okay.
Heart of Africa, Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always. Just the answer I like to give at work.
Along with Colors.
Along with Colors. Inside the Rain, Human Nature, The Road's Not Taken, Moondance, which is what my kid was doing while we were watching the Dropkick Murphys.
Oh, tell that kid to pull his pants up.
He wasn't wearing no pants.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, so Onward stayed number one at the box office for 2 weeks in a row. There's a shocker. Mm-hmm. Bloodshot debuted at number 2. I Still Believe number 3. Invisible Man fell 2 to 4. The Hunt debuted at number 5, which was delayed from last year because of all the school shootings and shit. Sonic the Hedgehog fell from 4 to 6. The Way Back fell from 3 to 7 in its second week. The Call of the Wild fell from 5 to 8. Emma, which is now going to be on video on demand, In its fourth week, we fell from 6 to 9. Bad Boys for Life. Robert Winfrey's favorite movie of 2020.
I've got to listen to that review.
Yeah, you do. Fell from 7 to 10. Birds of Prey, which is also getting an early video on demand release because of the coronavirus. 8 to 11. And then Jumanji: The Next Level, for some odd reason, stayed at number 12 in its 14th week. Impractical Jokers was number 13. 1917 fell from 11 to 14. Brahms the Boy, 13 to 15. Parasite, 15 to 16. Fantasy Island, 14 to 17. Portrait of a Lady on Fire, 16 to 18. The Gentleman getting an early VOD release from 18 to 19. And finally, My Hero Academia fell from 10 to 20.
Oh, I didn't know there was a movie out for that.
And nobody did.
Yeah. Not surprising.
Let's do our year-end worldwide totals.
Okay.
It's the year-end because there's no more movies.
This
They're
is
all gone.
called the world end.
Yeah. People are going to listen to this just because, like, what are they going to say about, like, everything going on? We're going to make fun of it, all of it. Because if you can't laugh, you'd cry and kill yourself.
It's true.
Bad Boys for Life is still number 1 with $418 million. Sonic the Hedgehog, number 2, $306 million. That is kicking all kinds of ass. Doolittle is staying in the top 10 because it has no competition, basically, at $223 million. Birds of Prey, finishing up its run, basically, at like almost $200 million. The Invisible Man, at $122 million. The Gentleman, $114 million. Call of the Wild, $107 million. And rounding out the top 10, at less than $50 million, The Grudge, Fantasy Island, and Underwater.
Ooh.
Jesse, I don't think the fucking movies are coming back.
They will have their day to shine again, Mark. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. It's this. Think about, like, at least this virus hit in probably, and it could have been a little bit earlier.
They're saying that the United States knew that this was a problem in January.
In January.
Yeah.
So, well, okay. I guess, would you rather have theaters shut down from February to whenever this is going to end versus March for when this is going to end? February is usually the worst month for movies, right?
No, fuck you, it's January is the worst month.
Fuck you, January. Okay.
Fuck you, January. Fuck you, January, and fuck you, gently, September are the two worst months.
You gently. All right.
Okay. Followed by the nuclear waste site that is August.
Got it.
The end of summer meltdown.
I'm sure that the movies will come back with a vengeance. We got a lot of stuff waiting for us. Black Widow, some other great movies out there. So, just,
here's the thing.
We just got to be patient.
They might put that Black Widow on Disney Plus. Disney Plus is having a hard time, like, retaining subscribers. And
well,
I
was going to say, there's a big drought between when I've last watched Disney Plus, which was probably at the end of The Mandalorian, and I haven't gone back to that service to find anything to watch since then.
Right. Occasionally, I'll, like, throw on a Star Wars movie to go to sleep.
Okay.
Like, I watched I was looking for, actually, the Rise of the Skywalker, and I guess it hadn't released just yet. Though I keep seeing, like, on demand, like, they're releasing it early on Disney Plus. Like, okay, then I go and it's not there. I guess I wasn't paying attention to the date. But by that point I was committed, so I put on Revenge of the Sith because I figured, I don't need to be awake for this. And
that's, yeah, I think that's exactly what Disney Plus was shooting for. Movies to fall asleep to.
I will say this, though. They threw on Frozen 2 early.
They did.
And we watched it Sunday night.
A lot of people blew up with my Facebook talking about how they were watching it Sunday.
Yeah.
But you watch that movie one time. I mean, for me, I'm a guy who watches a movie, and it's rare that I revisit it. My kids are a little bit on a different level. They'll watch something multiple times if they really like it. They really liked Sonic the Hedgehog. And with going back and revisiting movie after movie, unless it's something that the kids want to see and they haven't seen, I'll watch it with them. But there's nothing on Disney Plus that makes me go, okay, I need to get back on there and watch this. Frozen 2, great. I'm glad that they took the initiative to do that. But it doesn't surprise me that they're having a hard time keeping subscribers because I haven't seen a whole lot of new content show up at all. At least stuff that I'm interested in or that would keep me interested.
No,
so,
I think they thought, well, we'll throw it up in November and we'll have The Mandalorian and Lady and the Tramp, and then, we'll slowly but surely roll things out over time, and people will stay with it because they know they're going to get Marvel shows. Here's the problem: they should have had a Marvel show ready to go
now
in like January or February. March the latest. Mm-hmm. Like, they needed to like, if you think about how often new shit drops on Netflix, like Netflix originals. Stuff developed exclusively for Netflix. I can't keep up with it half the time. Like we try to cover a lot of the. I can't even say a lot of it. We try to cover just the stuff relative to the kinds of things we were already talking about, comic books, superheroes. But when you think about like, if I, when I get the announcements from Variety or the Hollywood Reporter or whatever. And then I post it to the Radulich In Broadcasting Facebook page, like Ozark. Mm-hmm. Ozark drops, I think it's March 27th. We won't get to it for a few weeks. We still haven't gotten to the Umbrella Academy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, Chilling Adventures of Sabrina dropped, I want to say like a week or two ago. We're not going to get to it till next week.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's not even the original date. That took the place of something else that fell off the calendar. So what I'm saying is, like, people kept up with their Netflix subscriptions because as soon as you've binged one thing, another thing drops.
Yeah. And, I mean, let's be realistic here. Netflix has had quite a while to get themselves up and running. And we're only approaching, 4 or 5 months at the most here since Disney Plus got rolling. And, if you look at the first 5 months of Netflix, it was a different model back then. That's for damn sure. But, that's what I keep reminding myself, is that at some point the content's going to drop. It's there if you want to go back and revisit some stuff, because that's pretty much all I'll be doing is revisiting things from the Disney Vault. And if they happen to drop some stuff on there, which I think is a great idea, if you drop it early. So did you say that they did have a date for it to drop early on Disney Plus for the new, what was the most recent Star Wars movie?
Rise of Skywalker.
Rise of Skywalker. So did they actually have a date that they're doing that, or was that just some fake Facebook post?
What I may have been looking at was like its video on demand was coming early.
Oh, okay. I was going to say Voodoo's definitely
I've seen everywhere.
Yeah, same here.
So let's go on Disney Plus right now. Disney Plus.
Let's just call the podcast right now and do an Apple Dumpling Gang commentary.
Yeah. I'm fucking all about that right now.
The Apple Dumpling Gang.
I am completely in who gives a fuck mode. All right. Star Wars right now. Movies. Goes all the way up to The Last Jedi. Okay. So it's not on Disney Plus. However, let's go to the movies. Let's all go to the movies and have ourselves a sneeze.
We watched Outbreak yesterday. That was not the time to go to the movies in that particular film.
All right, Rise of Skywalker is available to buy on standard video on demand for $20, and will be available for rent on March 31st.
Okay.
So now that we know that,
do they have a date?
Let's see.
Well, I tell you, you want. I mean, Frozen 2, I understand, but man, if you could get a Star Wars movie in there early, there's no sense in why you can't. I don't know if you're just worried about, maybe there's some kind of right stuff. I don't know all the corporate doodads going on behind the scenes, but shit, if you can get your hands on that movie and bring it to people early, you trust me, they're going to stick around. And if you start to show a pattern of doing something like that, people will have more faith in your service as well. Like, hey, shit, I might miss something out that they're going to bring out 2 months from now that early.
It's saying it's out now, but that's not the case. I only see it on video on demand. Like,
they're full of it. Where's the website you're going to?
I just did a Google search. Here, I'm going to do something else.
Do
Rise. Nope, it's not here. We can watch The Wise Little Hen.
Ooh,
that's on here. That's 8 minutes.
The hell kind of is it old, new, or I've never even heard of it.
It is an old cartoon, sir.
Okay, all right then. Let's all go to the Disney Plus.
Let's see. All right. What do you listen to? I don't know. I'm listening to two guys bumblefuck their way through the internet trying to find The Rise of Skywalker.
We appreciate you coming here for our Bloodshot. That's been done for 20 minutes. The Bloodshot review's over. I don't know what the next segment's going to be.
Okay. The Rise of Skywalker is available to buy now a few days earlier than expected. Disney is also making The Rise of Skywalker available to purchase a few days early. Okay.
Oh, okay. Now,
that
is that like
March 17th.
Going into the store or purchasing on demand?
Yeah.
Okay,
The Rise of Skywalker will not be streaming on Disney Plus either today or Tuesday. A Lucasfilm representative told The Verge there is no update on a Disney Plus streaming date at this time.
Well, bummer.
Yeah, a lot of people, like New Mutants got pulled too. And a lot of people just throw the fuck that on. Just throw it up on Hulu already. What the fuck?
Why? I mean, it's like slowly bleeding to death somebody. Just like, they're sitting there and you just cut them ever so slightly, but they're going to lose blood and die at some point.
New Mutants has definitely been death by 1,000 cuts.
Yes. Poor thing.
Fucking ridiculous. Anyway, and the Dropkick Murphy merch site is still not working.
Oh.
All right.
These fuckers.
So, that's it. There's nothing. I mean, normally we'll start talking about, like, projections. This movie's dead. Like, they closed theaters. You can't go see it now. Sony needs to just fucking pull it from the theaters and throw it up VOD.
Do it.
Why wait?
This is the new model, ladies and gentlemen. This is what you need to embrace.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you. Like, so I made a point of saying before, like, I think the coronavirus has just killed the movie industry, in the sense of, and I'm not trying to be hyperbolic about it or even make a joke. Like, I want to ask you, let's use this opportunity, let's use this garbage review to
have an actual discussion.
Yeah, to have a discussion about, like, in the uncertainty of the world, when you throw $200 million behind a movie, and you need to maximize the amount of people they're going to sit and watch it.
Ooh,
I mean, why not just instantly? Here's what I'll tell you: Black Widow debuts May 1st. VOD. I'll spend the $20 to rent it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll spend the $20 to rent it to review it. When Trolls World Tour comes out on April 10th, straight to VOD, we're going to rent it and watch it as a family for $20.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's more money than Trolls World Tour they would have gotten. Say the average price of a ticket, say for my whole family, let's say it's $10.
Yeah,
so that's $40 versus $20. But more people will go see it because they either can't or don't want to leave their home, and it's available to watch in their living room, than if they would have to get up and go to the theater.
Yeah, but you've got to double. If using what you're saying, I mean, you've got to double those amount of people that want to watch that movie, and I don't know if there's enough of a fan base for a film for that to happen. Well, but go ahead.
Hang on. Here's the math. Not everybody who would potentially see Trolls World Tour will see it in the theater. Families can't always afford to go to the movies. They don't always have time. Before the world ended, we used to have things like soccer games on Saturdays. People go to church on Sundays. People...
I'm sitting here thinking about the guy like 3 years who just finds our archive 3 years on down the road. And he's like, the world ended. What? Wait a second.
About?
What is this? Okay. Or what happened?
So before we entered Mad Max times,
before I killed my neighbor over that water I needed yesterday.
People, people didn't always, like, I have a lot of coworkers who have kids around the same age as mine. They don't always take them to go see whatever the new big theatrical family movie is. Mm-hmm. They wait to see it at home. Now everyone's at home, and it's made available to everybody at home. Don't you think there's going to be a wave of people all wanting to watch it around the same time? Like, to me, it almost makes more sense now. Here's my prediction, right? Well, not even prediction, but here's what I'll say. If in this kind of social experiment that's happening right now, where the studios are just like, well, fuck it, we can't sit on these things, these are investments, and we're burning money by not releasing them. So we'll just eat it, and we'll release them VOD and come what may. And they start to find that these movies are actually, because a lot of movies are failing. So one of the things we talk about when we do the money segments is how many of these movies don't make their budgets. Mm-hmm. How many of them don't make double their budgets? And so a lot of movies fucking fail. But if more movies are now succeeding because of instant VOD than failing, what if theaters start doing like, well, fuck it, we just won't release the big theater chains anymore. Then the theater chains all go away. Now there is no place to watch these things.
Yeah. It's a scary proposition to see what the world would be like if that was happening. Let me tell you the barriers that I run into when I want to go watch a film. Mm-hmm. Okay? Price. So when you're telling me that I can get and watch a brand new movie from my own couch at a reasonable price with my family, that's obviously a check mark in the pro column there. Mm-hmm. Next up is getting my kids together and out the door. Okay? I'm sorry, as much as I love my children, it is a chore. Anybody who has children can tell you it's a chore to get your kids dressed, get them ready, get them in the car, take them to Avengers, the final Avengers film, watch them spoil it for everybody at the end. That's not that's not conducive. So I'd rather avoid that if I can. So watching a movie from my own home, right on my couch, definitely another check mark in the pro column. And snacks and stuff like that, I really am one of those guys who I don't want to spend a whole lot of money, and going to the theater just has big dollar signs written all over it.
Yeah. Non counting movie tickets, it's like a $20 to $50 day.
Yeah. And is that are you counting your kids when you do that?
Oh no, when it's just me, no. First of all, I'm an AMC Stubs member, which, by the way, try fucking canceling that right now. Good luck.
Oh no. They're like, take that option off of the webpage right now.
Yep. Try suspending your AMC Stubs fucking membership. Because I couldn't do it. I tried. I'm like, why am I paying for this?
Yeah. Why? Yeah, you're not using it. I would hope that studios would look at it and say, if we cut out the middleman, this could be much more profitable. The only thing is that I don't know, I don't know if they're able to make their money back. But if they're making the prices reasonable enough to where I said, hey, let's do it, they're going to get more customers, or I should say more people who would want to do this. And if there's more interest, then it could be a feasible model. I'm honestly, dude, how long have we been sitting here in this technological age and have been saying to ourselves, just stream things immediately, put them out there immediately. Now, the only problem is that you and I live in, somewhat decent cities that carry good internet speed and blah, 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 things that a lot of us kind of probably take for granted. And I could go, I don't know, 5 miles outside of my town, and you're talking to somebody that cannot stream things.
Right.
They're stuck with satellite internet that's not going to be something that you can do Netflix on very easily, or DSL, or something that's just not going to be. And when you think about that, you're cutting out a complete customer base that used to go to the theaters because they had no other option.
Right.
So
my parents who went, and they would do like the Tuesday cheap, as they would call it.
Yeah.
Because they had idle time.
Yeah. The technologically unadvanced. I mean, my dad, I can remember sitting there in front of a computer and have me come over and show him how to, possibly do an email. Okay. Now this guy has no problem going up to a ticket booth and paying for a ticket and sitting down in the theater. You try to show him how to hook up Netflix or something like that, and it was a challenge. So that's why I think theaters have been around for that much longer. It's just that the model's more viable for anybody to get into that theater versus somebody wanting to stream something.
Right.
What do you think of that?
I mean, here's the thing, and I'll go back to what I was saying before. I mean, you might be right. They might be like, well, we should when the theaters. I'm making the argument that theaters may not come back. That nobody thought video stores were going to go away, but they died because of streaming.
Yeah.
And if the entire model shifts to streaming, well, then that's the end of theaters. But say that might sound very apocalyptic, but you got to remember, theaters were dying anyway. Theaters got, to a degree, revived for a couple of reasons. They started transitioning from just your average, here's a warehouse full of halfway comfortable chairs and a popcorn machine and a big screen.
Mm-hmm.
And they changed, and they made them destinations. They started putting in Dolby theaters with recliners and big-ass seats for your fat ass. And they put in...
That's on the ad, by the way. That's the advert definitely says that.
And they put in IMAX screens, to give you a better visual experience. And again, with big seats. Mm-hmm. They upgrade. They made tickets available via an app, so that you don't have to be one of the idiots online going, what's good here?
Yeah.
So, I don't know if you've been online with some of these people who look like they've never been in a fucking theater before.
Oh.
But I with everything that went on with Sonic the Hedgehog, and we got there kind of late, and we were thinking about trying to switch our times, and like I had to actually stand on a physical line for the first time in years.
Oh man!
And I wanted to murder everyone on the line in front of me who was like,
You gotta pick the right seat. Where should we sit?
do you have any Soundgarden tickets?
Oh,
yes.
boy.
That's an anal cunt joke, everybody. Anyway, so...
That was lost on me completely. I know who Anal Cunt is, but I did not get the joke, so there we go.
Well, there's an Anal Cunt album where one of their skits is the guy going up to a ticket booth. It's like, do you have any Soundgarden tickets? And the guy goes, yes. And it's over.
This does not surprise me.
Anyway. So, they put in arcades. They upgraded the snacks. Like, you used to just get, like, popcorn and soda, maybe a hot dog. You can get fucking sliders at my theater now.
Nice.
You get gourmet popcorn. At another theater that I used to go to, the GQT, there's a fucking bar in there. Yeah,
I've heard of theaters doing stuff like that.
A lot of places do, like, the Cinebistro thing which my wife, that's a $70 night. My wife and I, not counting tickets, my wife and I will get tickets to the Cinebistro. Like, we've done that for, like, Harry Potter and shit. We did it for one of the X-Men movies, where we would go to the Cinebistro, we would have ourselves a nice dinner, and dessert, and we would watch the movie at these like little tables and whatever. And it's expensive, but that's what got us to the movies. Because like, you're in a relationship, you want to go out, you want to go do stuff together,
do something. Yeah.
Listen, there is not a day that goes by that my wife and I don't want to punch each other in the throat. Because that's how marriages work.
That's right.
We really enjoy each other's company. Like we like going out and doing stuff together. Mm-hmm. It's all the other stuff in life that makes us like fucking crazy. Bills, jobs, kids, family.
And it's tough because now with the market, or excuse me, the way things are, that's taken away from us.
Right.
And now it's sad to hear you say that you think that this might be the end of that, because and that's why I think no, it's not. There's no way, unless they say
shit to do.
Yeah, people need shit to do. People need to get out, and at some point, this stuff is going to be lifted, and we're going to actually be able to associate with each other at some again out in public. That I don't think going to streaming right now. And didn't you? Who was it that's doing this? Universal. That's really
Universal was the first big one.
Okay, and
there's no other studios left. No.
Universal fought all of them for water, and it was amazing. Universal won.
Well, no, the big three are Universal, Warner Brothers, and Disney/Fox.
Okay.
And Disney/Fox hasn't done any straight to streaming, except from what was going to be released on screen to straight to streaming.
Yeah.
Neither has Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers is just releasing shit early. Mm-hmm. And then Universal, the only one that's debuting video on demand is Trolls World Tour.
Okay.
Everything else either got indefinitely delayed or pushed to a much later date.
I thought there was another movie. Was there another like real popular movie that maybe they were releasing it early? But that Universal was doing. I can't remember, but they mentioned Trolls World Tour, and there was something else I could have swore they mentioned in there. But anyway, and they've said specifically that is not going to continue, right? That is something that they specifically said.
This shit's only a few days old.
Yeah, it's true. Trust me, I've been saying that since, yeah.
Well, hang on. Let's pull out the old schedule here, my fucking on fire and vandalized schedule.
Pat it out for right now and try to read the ashes.
Last week at this time last week we reviewed Onward. The world hadn't come to an end just yet. Mm-hmm. Okay, things started to fall apart shortly after that, and then it's been like. It's like my kid's school just ended on Friday, and things weren't this bad.
Yeah.
And I want to say it was actually Friday where they were like, yeah, school's closed for 2 weeks. So, I mean, if you think about, like, in the past, 2 weeks, like, from March 1st to March 17th, which is today, we still had boxing on the 7th. We had... the week from March 1st to March 7th, life was normal for the most part. Mm-hmm. Like, there weren't major disruptions. The Elimination Chamber was March 8th. That went off without a hitch. I don't remember things completely falling apart until the 13th, which was only 4 days ago. So this is all kind of new. So we'll see what happens. Maybe I'm wrong. Weirdly enough, something just popped up on my calendar called Cage Warriors 113 on Friday, 5 o'clock. I don't know what the...
What? Wait.
Live and exclusive on Fight Pass. Oh, boy.
Okay. So we are still finding time to beat each other in a cage. That's good.
Sure. Oh, are you kidding me? Fucking Dana White's still looking for, a venue for Khabib versus Tony Ferguson. That fight's going to happen even if it has to happen in your fucking backyard, Jesse.
Oh, that's great.
Dana White's going to knock on your door like, yeah, this'll do.
Come on in, camera crew. Get the fighters ready. Stand here in front of the kitchen. Shit, I ain't done the dishes yet. No, that's all right. That's fine.
It adds to the aesthetic.
Yeah.
All right, you ready to do the last part of this?
Yeah, man. What do we got left?
Get this fuck show over with.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go.
Are you ready? No! I said, are you ready?
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
All right. Bloodshot, baby. You've listened to Damn You Hollywood. You know what's next.
Is this the part where you get to listen to some reviews?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great.
Put on your best Winfrey hat.
I cannot even. I pale in comparison to Winfrey ripping a freaking critic a new asshole. So, but I will gladly at least listen to it and provide my opinion.
Okay. Well, let me tell you this much: the critics fucking hated this. They savaged it.
Oh no!
Yeah, it's got an aggregate score of 32%. The audience score was 78. The audience were like, "Yeah, it's fine. It's cool. I'd fuck Vin Diesel." That's what they said.
It's Vin Diesel in an action movie. I don't know what else could go wrong.
But this is indicative of you know, and on a normal day, movies in 2020, right? Where like the crowd's like, "Yeah, it's fine," and the critics are like, "Ugh, this fucking thing."
Well, yeah. Oh my goodness, I don't know what they're going to expect. I'm sure we're going to hear what they probably expected to happen on a screen. See exactly how they savaged it.
All right. Abby Bernstein, Assignment X. Diesel puts forth a tortured man of action with sincerity.
That sort of sounds like an actual decent review. I mean, if she's trying to savage it, she did not. I mean, it didn't come off as too bad to me. I mean, he sure. I guess he was. He seemed sincere to me.
Victor Stiff of That Shelf. I can't think of a film this audacious that is also so forgettable.
Yeah, well, I don't know about audacious. I mean, you would think that they were trying to make a statement or something with this film. And
this one's for you, Jesse.
Oh, let's hear it.
I found one for you. I'm so glad you're here for this. You ready?
Great.
James Vernier of Boston Herald. They couldn't come up with a better movie than this. Come back, Riddick.
Ooh, that's a Pitch Black. And the Riddick movies, I mean, it's been a while since I watched them, but those are kind of like not movies that I go back and revisit. I like Pitch Black, but I don't know about Chronicles or the other one, which was Riddick. Yeah, been a while, so I don't know. I like Vin Diesel as Bloodshot. I think he was decent. I mean, okay, fine. I don't think you're going to get much more of a... If you compare his performance in this to Pitch Black, which was like, I think that was his breakout role, if I remember correctly, I don't think you're going to see much difference. If anything, he's probably clearly got more acting chops in 2020 than he did back in, what was that, 2000?
Mm-hmm.
So...
Dominic Griffin of Spectrum Culture. Bloodshot plumbs new depths by bringing to life a very strange, very specific kind of 90s superhero story. The film's execution leaves a little to be desired, but it's such a ridiculous and ambitious prospect that it's hard not to love it.
So this guy likes it.
Yep.
Oh, well.
I don't always read the bad ones.
Okay. All right. Well...
I want to read this guy just because I love his name. Johnny Gazmonic of Fanboys of the Universe.
Is it spelled G-A-Y-S?
No. G-A-Y-Z. Johnny Gazmonic.
Okay.
Who is Bloodshot? What are the secrets of his past? Should we care? This seriously got a theatrical release, and it isn't a Netflix original.
There is an argument that could be made there, probably. This is something that I could clearly see. It's got a little bit more of a budget than what you would see on Netflix, but I mean, not much more, really.
We miss Robert Winfrey, and he's here in spirit with us. So here's Roger Moore of Movie Nation.
Ah, yes.
A competently heartless action picture. A superhero without the tights. Transformers with BattleBot Vin in the lead role.
Transformers?
Yeah, he's comparing it to Transformers.
Okay. Moving on.
Matthew Monagle of Austin Chronicle. Bloodshot cannot help be a cult classic in the making. This is a...
Let's go ahead and hashtag CTFD that shit right now.
This is Hollywood escapism at its finest. At a time when we need it the most, Jesse Stauncher. Don't you understand? The world is ending.
This is the time that we needed Bloodshot the most.
This is the movie. This isn't the movie we asked for, but it's the movie we needed at this time.
What publication does he work for? And does it say Valiant? That's the vibe I'm getting here.
Austin Chronicle.
Okay. All right. Well, don't think so, sir. I'm going to disagree with that one wholeheartedly. This is not a fucking cult classic.
Chris Knight of the National Post. It's a pretzel without a twist, or a Groundhog Day meets a bad Alien sequel. What?
Groundhog Day? Okay, I understand where he's going there, because Bloodshot or Ray is reliving his life over and over, and the tortured wife and all that. But I mean, not much I can really say against what he said. What was the first part of that review again? What did he say before he got to
past it?
Yeah, of course you did. Okay, go ahead.
Jeremy Johns of JeremyJohns.com. Since he's not here, I'll say it for him.
I should make a comment right now. I feel like
I'll do it. You self-employed loser.
There you go.
It's essentially RoboCop, but also worse than the remake of RoboCop.
That is spot on. That is what I thought. There was two movies that came to mind when I was watching this. RoboCop came to mind, and you had mentioned Wolverine when we were doing our source material on this, and I thought about that too. This is definitely not Logan in any way. This is clearly a Wolverine in his early years who's practically invulnerable and can come back from death, but I don't even want to compare him to Hugh Jackman, but Wolverine, the comic book character, is probably more where I would go with, just like you were saying. But yeah, RoboCop, I think, is spot on in my opinion.
Fred Topol of Showbiz Cheat Sheet. For less comic book literate viewers, it may remind you more of sci-fi films like RoboCop or Universal Soldier. Mm-hmm. It is a watered-down version of both, and watering down Universal Soldier doesn't leave much since it was already a Terminator knockoff.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Let's see.
He's digging the depths.
Jesse Hasinger of Polygon. Most of its ridiculous conviction comes from Diesel. He's given plenty of better performances, but here he's especially convincing in the role of a guy who legitimately believes he has nothing better to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bloodshot baby. Bloodshot baby. Oh, that should have been the theme song.
All right. Matt Singer of Screen Crush. Well, this will be the last one.
This will be the last one. Let's see if it gets my goat.
Diesel just does his standard scowl and growl routine.
Agreed. I mean, it's what I expected from Vin Diesel here. And like I said, he does get a little bit more emotive than what I'm used to him doing. And I'm not the biggest, like, I'm not like the most Fast and the Furious I probably watched was up to like 2. Mm-hmm. and I may have watched 5. I don't even know. I can't remember if he's in it. It was the first one with The Rock. And I'm trying to think of any other movies that had Vin Diesel in it that I've watched other than the Pitch Black and Riddick. But
Guardians of the Galaxy.
His voice made an appearance. That was about it. I mean, there's nothing else that I can think of that makes me think this was any different than what I've seen before. He smiled a lot less in this, I think. He doesn't smile very much at all.
Nothing of men like me.
Yeah, you're such a deep character, Ray / Bloodshot.
Speaking of
go ahead, man.
No, I was trying to just get the fuck out of here.
That's fine with me. I was just going to say, the character of Ray, really the only thing that you get from this guy is that he loves his wife. And that
Vin Diesel loves all the girls he's fucked before.
all the girls I fucked before. That's how it goes, right?
You can say fuck. It's fine. You're a big boy.
I censored myself on purpose.
I know.
I don't want to offend anybody on here.
Like 20 minutes ago, I was saying that don't we all want to watch Vin Diesel fuck Paul Walker?
Oh, that was this podcast. Okay.
Hi, I'm Mark. Have we met? Are you new?
I am. As a matter of fact, it's been a while since I did Damn You Hollywood. I had no idea how.
Is this why you're breaking up with me and not wanting to do podcasts with me anymore?
Oh, no, Mark. It's the fact that I'm just not going to be available or conscious, probably. That's more like it.
Well, tomorrow, Jesse Starkson will not be available for the Metal Hammer of Doom Code Orange Underneath review. I am probably going to do that one by myself just to do it and get it done. And then, theoretically, Sean Comer and I will be doing an on-trial for the Boondock Saints in honor of St. Patrick's Day, which is today. Next week, we've got a review of The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. Myself and Alexis Hana will be doing the Part 3 TV party for The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. And then who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men. I'm going to Moffat on Wednesday the 25th. I might get fucking quarantined. Who knows?
Oh, jeez.
They might not let me out again. They were like, oh, he coughed. He's got the coronavirus.
Man, you've been dealing with that fucking cough for quite a while.
Like 4 years.
Well, didn't you say, I think I remember you saying, like, it really started in January. Like, that's when it really started to ramp up. So that was prior to COVID-19, wasn't it? Yeah. Really attacking. So, yeah, you'll be fine. That's just...
It was funny.
It's just pneumonia.
I was at work today, and I had to go into the infirmary to talk to a guy to get him into this program. It's part of my job. And I left the infirmary. I'm in the office. I'm typing up my notes. And my boss comes, like, just fucking storming Norman. And I'm, like, thinking, I'm in trouble or something. Like, did I fucking piss in the captain's fucking Cheerios? What'd I do? And she's like, listen. I'm like, oh, no. I'm like, going to get, like, in the midst of all this, I'm going to get fired on top of everything else.
Oh.
She's like, don't go into the infirmary again. And now I'm still thinking, this is like a matter of seconds, but in the matter of seconds, I was like, who did I piss off today?
You scared somebody by coughing, didn't you?
She's like, don't go back into jail. Don't go back into the main male infirmary. And I'm like, fuck, who did I make angry? She's like, somebody might have coronavirus.
Oh, shit.
And I'm like, well, too late.
Shit.
She's like, well, the person's been in, like, the negative pressure cell and all this other stuff, so there's not likely in the time that I was in there that I could have possibly gotten infected or anything. But I am, to one degree or another, immune compromised.
Yeah.
So I'm at risk.
Yes, sir.
But that's okay, because like I told you on the Bloodshot review, if I die, but I'm scheduled to do a podcast, I will rise.
Got to finish out the year's schedule.
I have to finish up what's scheduled. Till it all fucking gets canceled.
Oh, jeez.
We had a good run here, Jesse.
We are a morose bunch of motherfuckers.
We had a good run. Radulich In Broadcasting from 2014 to like 2011, 2014, somewhere in there, to 2020.
We gave it our best.
No, we didn't.
No.
We showed up consistently.
I made notes, and that's about it.
All right, folks. Jesse Starcher, it's been wonderful talking with you about this stupid movie. We had a good conversation. This is if anyone's wondering if we're going to do like a screaming boy or whatever about like the coronavirus, the answer is you just heard what would have happened.
There you go.
I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Mark's done. Mark's not wanting to talk about it for days. Just letting everybody know. I think it probably torched him to talk about it tonight.
I don't mind talking about like the end of movies. That's like relevant to shit I care about. But as far as like the wider impact of the coronavirus, I really don't need to hear one guy on my left screaming it's all a media hype and the other guy on my right
I know that guy.
screaming about something else and me just wanting to fucking jerk off into a soda can. So
Right into the top.
right in the top. You want to do any plugs? Do you even podcast anymore, motherfucker?
Oh, boy, oh, boy. So, you ever hear of podcasters going on hiatus? Well, that is probably what's going to happen with me. I am in, I guess, I don't really talk about what I do for work here on the podcast too much, but let's just say I'm in part of an industry right now that is going to be really ramped up when it comes to workload. So
at home sexual companionship.
That is exactly. My dick is going to be sore for quite a while, and I need to rest.
Oh, Jesse's dial-a-dick service is so busy right now.
I've actually handled a few calls in between pauses on this show. But no, I'm going to be definitely up to my shoulders in work. So I have to. I didn't think that the virus would be affecting a whole lot on this network, but as soon as I started to watch things go downhill in our state when it comes to like them shutting fucking businesses down and all that, I knew right then like they are going to be needing me at some point and my lovely balls. So I said, all right, let's do this. Get the KY jelly. Let's get this shit on. So I'll be taking a little bit of a break. It'll be week by week. Hell, it could be, next week I may be good to go. But if not, I will be on the other side of this at some point, and I will be returning, provided the Radulich In Broadcasting Network is still around. That's all up to Mark, though. But yes,
me fucking dribbling. Go ahead, everybody.
Check out the Sabrina. What is it? Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. Mark already talked about it. Coming up on Monday. That's already in the can. It's going to show up on Monday, and I do know we have an Unspoken Issues podcast in the can where Chris and I discuss Avengers #1 from 1998. So this is the Heroes Return Avengers, and that is already edited. I just got to go through, clean up a few things, add a few fun little songs at the end and the beginning, and then that'll probably be airing on Wednesday. So you'll hear from me at least next week sometime.
All right, folks, this is the last Damn You Hollywood you're going to hear until, at a minimum, June 9th.
Shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, unless stuff goes VOD, am I going to throw it back on the calendar again, or the life changes significantly between now and then? The next Hollywood release, the next theatrical Hollywood release on my calendar is Wonder Woman, and that doesn't come out till June 5th.
Damn, oh man. Well, I'm glad to have been here for at least the last one for 4 months. That's saddening.
Yep. Hey, man, you were the last man standing. Robert Winfrey, bolt in the fucking head. Alexis Hana, both knees capped. Last one standing. Big dick, Jesse Starcher.
Yeah.
He blocked all the bolts with his penis. Just waved it in a circle. Like Thor's hammer. It's good to laugh.
Good stuff.
Good night, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.